Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
All right, everybody. Allman here live in Springfield, Missouri. Had the privilege of being able to kind of nail it down with Senator Ted Cruz last night, as he came in to stump for Roy Blunt and the rest of the Missouri ticket on the GOP side. And it's a significant development because, of course, Trump's going to need people like Senator Blunt and people like Senator Cruz to advance his great ideas. And that's just the bottom line. Unfortunately, some of the other senators out there who have decided to be pansies and not full-on support Donald Trump might end up losing their seats. And so they're the enemies of the GOP, not Donald Trump, and that's just a shame. Ted Cruz hopping from the Blunt bus to the Pence airplane this morning as he is headed out to campaign on behalf of the Trump-Pence ticket. You might recall Pence endorsed Ted Cruz during the presidential race, but now this is where everybody's starting to come together. And, of course, you heard Ann Wagner yesterday saying she's endorsing as well as voting for Donald Trump after her response to the tape. And so, the Republicans are in a good place now, and as Hillary on the other end starts to implode and all these stories start coming out, again, you're thinking, well, okay, so yeah, they say there's going to be an indictment. What good does that do? Well, the Hillary Clinton supporters aren't going anywhere. They're going to be there no matter what. That's just the way it goes. But the people who are either A, sitting on the fence and maybe deciding not to vote at all, their choice is becoming clearer. At first they're like, well, both of them are bad, so I'm not even going to go and vote. Well, now it turns out that one of them is really bad, and it's unconscionable to try to pave the way for that person to be in the White House. And so those folks might be motivated to get out. Then you have the independents who clearly are not going to be going for any of this garbage that's happening around the Hillary Clinton campaign. And then you have a situation where you have people who are just simply on the fence, undecided, what have you, who just can't make up their minds. This is helping them, believe me, because what's coming out now is at the absolute beyond Watergate level. And now the more serious thing will be this Clinton Foundation deal, where now we're seeing some possible evidence, and Brett Baer reporting last night that the FBI is saying, at least within the sources, are saying that they are possibly on the way to an indictment regarding the Clinton Foundation. That's pretty big news. And then you have the situation where WikiLeaks is showing that the Justice Department tried to derail the investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Obama's Justice Department tried to derail the Clinton Foundation investigation. That's on email that is being exposed now by WikiLeaks. So you have that going on, and now you kind of understand why maybe Comey did what he did, where he's saying, you know what, because they didn't want him to talk about this latest development either with Huma's computer. So finally, at some point, these FBI guys have had enough of being bossed around by Loretta Lynch and the Obama Justice Department, and maybe that's why they're coming out to the degree that they're coming out. All right, as I said, I am in beautiful Springfield, Missouri, and this is kind of the home turf of Roy Blunt, and indeed was when he was a congressman. Now he is a senator, of course. And the man who wound up replacing him in Congress is Congressman Bill Long. Bill Long joining me now. How you doing, Bill Long?
Pretty good. Billy Long, actually. I go by Billy as in goat, so it's easy to remember.
All right, Billy as in goat. Yeah, I didn't know whether that was really just the formality of your name, so I wanted to err on the side of formality, but thank you for loosening it up here, my friend Billy Long. So, you were at the event last night, correct?
Oh, yes, both of them. We did a rally in Springfield, Missouri, and also 70 miles to the west in Joplin, Missouri, and had outstanding crowds. The place went wild when Ted Cruz took the stage, and his remarks were right on point. And the Republicans are coming home. I just pray that it's not too little, too late. I've been saying since August of 2015. Now, keep in mind, I did not endorse in this race, but I saw what was going on. I did endorse after the convention, of course, which is what I said I would do all along. I did endorse 2 or 3 candidates. I endorsed one, Donald J. Trump, after the primary because I said, let this thing play out. But I've said since 2015 in August that the only ones that can beat Donald Trump are the Republicans, not the Democrats. I said the Democrats can't stop him. This is a movement. And now a lot of the Republicans are coming home. I just hope that it's not too little too late when we should have been doing some ground game work and things to turn out people in polls, that we could have used a lot of more help from RNC than what we received. So it's very frustrating, but if we get a good result next Tuesday, all will be forgiven.
Yeah, boy, isn't that the case though? The too little, too late factor there, and hopefully that's going to be working. I noticed too at the rally last night in Springfield. I've been to many rallies, many Republican rallies, but I noticed that there was a little bit of a different mix of people at these rallies. And I obviously don't stereotype, but I did notice there were a lot of folks who had come in seemingly right off of work from a factory or right off of work from a machine shop. And there seemed to be a very diverse crowd of individuals who are both the white collar, blue collar, you name it. And I was impressed by that here in Springfield.
Right, and I think that the blue collar are the ones that are going to really get out and turn out to vote. A lot of the white collars have said, I need to distance myself from Trump and won't admit they're going to vote for Trump. So you picked up on that, and that's exactly what I think is happening. And I think that a lot of the union folks across the United States are going to vote for Donald Trump. In fact, there was a union guy here in town that called in one of the talk shows over the weekend 2 weeks ago, I think. He said, I'm 51 years old. I've been in the union 30 years. He said 4 out of the 5 people in my union shop are voting for Trump.
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of that, Billy, here in St. Louis, and that's a pretty big deal. And even though in some cases the leadership is telling them to vote a different way, but they've had enough of being told how to vote. And I think it's all about the economy. It's all about rolling back the suffocating regulation, rolling back the suffocating taxation. And I think that the union guys get it. And it's interesting, as much as he was accused of being, a xenophobe and a bigot and blah, 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 it turns out that Donald Trump seemingly has widened the Republican tent in the way that the other Republicans have claimed they wanted, but now suddenly he's still being attacked on a number of levels from his own people. But I think we have seen the widening of the tent, don't you think?
I think you're exactly right, and I'll tell you what I told Donald Trump in front of 200 and some Republican congressmen back in either June or July. It was right before the Cleveland convention, and Republican leadership was all lined up on the front row, and everyone was getting up to the mic. Well, my turn came into the mic, and I said, Mr. Trump, I said, your problem is in this room. I said, it's the people in this room that are not supporting you, but yet they're running around saying we have to get all these good policy ideas over to Mr. Trump. We have to get all these good policy ideas over to Mr. Trump. And I'm telling those two Trump, saying his name, Mr. Trump. And I said, you know what I told him? I said, knock yourself out, boys. You come up with all these good policy ideas. Then on January 20th, you can go into the Oval Office and say, here, Hillary, we have some good ideas for you.
Yeah, I again, I think that's so important, and I think between the Republican-controlled House and hopefully we maintain the Republican-controlled Senate, you guys can do some serious damage to this brick wall that the Democrats and some of the Republicans have built that is certainly preventing us from making headway in our economy. Billy Long, it's been a privilege talking to you. He, of course, is the congressman there in the 7th and the one who replaced the Senator Blunt when he left the House and went on to the Senate. So, Billy Long, thanks for your insight. Thanks for your hard work, my friend.
You bet, buddy. Thanks for what you do.
All right. Appreciate you very much. It's Congressman Billy Long. Coming up, Pamela Geller from New York.